Hello students, in this session I am going to discuss some of the other tags. So as we have discussed, HTML will start with HTML tag, header tag, followed by title. So and after that we'll be following it by body tag, and then we will be closing body tag as well as HTML tag. Now, so we are going to discuss a new tag called as HR tag. Okay, so this tag is used to draw a horizontal line. Okay, if you observe before web programming, we have a content called as web programming here. Before that I have written HR. So I want to execute this program, so I'll go to web page and I'll just refresh it. So you can observe here we have a line before web programming. Okay, now if you want to draw a similar horizontal line after web programming also, you can draw it. So I'll just write HR and I'll save it, and you have, I'll refresh it. So you can see this web programming is surrounded by two horizontal lines. Before web programming I have a horizontal line, and after the web programming I have a horizontal line. So this is one of the tag that is used for drawing a horizontal tag. And after this, these HR tag will have some properties or attributes called as size, which will be representing, say I'll represent the size as 5. So I'll save it and I'll refresh it. Okay, the size will be increased of the head, that is horizontal bar. If you want to see it clearly, I'll just change the color. So I'll change the color of it as blue, and I'm going to save it. Just refresh it so you can see the color of it. We have a horizontal line before web programming, and I'll change the color of this as some red. I'll refresh it so you can see a red line, which is default size, and I have increased the first horizontal line to the size of 5, so the width has been increased. Similarly, you can also change the width. Okay, so width is like, say if I represent it as some 500, I'll save it. You can see this is the actual previous output. Now I have changed the width as 500. Now if I refresh, you can see the horizontal line size has decreased. Okay, so this is how you can increase or decrease the size of the horizontal line you want, okay, by using this property called as just width. Okay, next, coming back to the program. In this program we are going to discuss one more header file. Now see, for example, suppose I want to represent any symbol like double quotes. Okay, now if I want to represent double quotes, I'll refresh it. You can see we have double quotes after web programming. The similar thing you can also do with the help of one more symbol, like we'll be using ampersand. This ampersand will be followed by quote. Okay, so this will represent also, this is also used for representing the quote. Okay, so we're going to represent ampersand quote. Okay, and I'm going to refresh it. You can see it has also represented as quotes, which is es. So if you want, I'll just remove this es, then also you can execute this. So you can represent it by using quotes also. So whenever you want to represent any special characters or character entities, in that case I'll be using ampersand. Suppose I want to represent greater than. So greater than symbol, if I want to represent in the web programming, then also I can use that symbol. That is, I can write ampersand. If I want to represent greater than, I'll be using just GT. I'll save it. I'll execute it. So you can see you have a greater than symbol there. So this is how you're going to use any character entities. If you want to have some sort of character entities, that's in that case I can use ampersand. When you want to represent space, a single space, if you want to represent, I'll be using ampersand NB SP. Okay, So ampersand NBSP will be representing non-breaking space. Okay, so in the, for example, if you observe many websites, we'll see some copyright symbol. So if you want to represent copyright symbol, I'll be using ampersand. Same, I'll be using the keyword called as copy. Okay, I can see you'll have a symbol called as copyright there. So that symbol, if you want to represent, we'll be using that quotation like ampersand copy whenever you want to represent uh, a copyright symbol. Okay, this ampersand NBSP will be representing a single line or single space. It is called as non-breakable space. Okay, so that is, if you want to add any special characters, we'll be using those symbols. So other than that, we'll go to the next thing, which is like your a tag called as marquee. We'll call this tag as marquee. Okay, so this tag is used to scroll content in the web page. It's like, say for example, I'll write hello and I'll close marquee tag. So I'll save it and I'll refresh it. You can see a word hello is scrolling from right to left. So if you want to move any content from in the web page, in that case we'll be using this uh, tag called as marquee. So maybe if this is not visible, you can also increase the size. To increase the size, we'll be using which tag? Font tag. Font tag and represents size equal to some 20. And close font tag. So now if you can see, we have web programming, we have hello, which is scrolling from right to left. So this marquee has several properties. In that we have one property called as direction. So direction will be representing, say if I write right, if I write right, and if I try to execute it, the hello will be moving from left to right. By default it will be moving from right to left. Okay, and you can also change background color for it. So whenever you want to change background color, we'll be using simply bg color. Okay, so bg color, you can represent any color. Say I'll write something like black. I'm going to save it. On the refresh it, you can see you have black background there. So since both are black color, I'll just change this to something like gray or green. If I refresh, we have green color and the hello text is scrolling in that green color. Okay, now again we have other things also. So like other properties, like in a loop. So loop, we have one more property which is called as loop. Loop is, say we have this hello, I have a property called as loop, which will be representing how many times you would like to see that scrolling thing. Okay, hello has to be displayed 5 times or 6 times. How many times it has to be displayed, that can be represented by this loop. Okay, after 5 times it is not going to display or it is not going to scroll. Okay, that type of values you can represent with the help of this property called as loop property. Similarly, you have scroll delay. We have something like scroll delay. So scroll delay will be representing in what speed it should be like say scrolling. So that will be represented by scroll delay. Can also represent some value here. So I think it is moving a bit faster. If you want, you can make it as 500. If I refresh, I can see it is moving a bit slower compared to previous speed. So scroll delays will be representing at what speed the content has to scroll. That can be represented by scroll delay attribute. So this is about marquee tag. Marquee tag is used to move the content from one page, move the content in the web page from one position to other position, where you can represent the direction, you can represent the background color, loop, and also you can represent scroll delay. Okay, so next we will go for one more tag, which is like image tag. How to add an image? So we have a tag called as img. It has a property called as uh, like src, which is nothing but source. Okay, so this property will be representing the location. So we have image and we'll be having an attribute called as source. This source will be representing the url, that is the location of the image. So for this I need to copy the location of any image. So I'll go to the web documents, I'll search some image, have an image. Okay, I don't have any image in my, we'll see, search any images. I don't have any image on my system. So okay, I'll just download one, or you can add any image. So I'll try to add an image. So I'll continue finding image. So image is, I have a small image like photo, which was some pointer. So any image you have, if you have any image location, you can just copy that image location. I'm going to find the location of the image. So I have an image here, so I'll go to properties, or you can also open with the properties. So I'll just go to file information. So there you can see file, folder, path, and other things. If you don't see this, you can also find this in your MS Word, or whatever software you're using whenever you go to my computer or other things. In that you just right click on the image, something like this. If you consider this as an image, say I have this pointer image here, I'll right click here, you can go to properties. Once you go to properties, you will see something like this, the location of the file. Just copy the location. So just copy the location of the file and paste in the source, and again we'll follow it through the slash. And after this I need the name of the image, and you should also just go through the uh, format of the image, which is .gif. So I'll just copy this name also, and we'll go to document, and I'll save it, and it is .gf. So I'll save this, and if I try to execute the program, so you can see whatever I had, that image has been displayed. So this is how you can add an image onto your web page. So where you'll be using the image property, image tag, and it will be followed by src, and it will be again, you're going to give the complete location of the image. And this will be having other attributes too, like align. So align attribute, you can give the same values. You can align it to left, you can align it to right. You can do all those things that you want. So it has been aligned to right, or if you want to align it to top, bottom, all those things can be done by using align attribute. And again you have also other attributes like style attribute, or if you want to set the width of the image or height of the image, that can also be set. I'll be representing it as 200, and height as, in height I'm going to give it as 200. I'm going to save it, go to the browser and refresh. You can see the size of the image has been decreased. So whichever size you want, you can represent by changing the height as well as width of the image. And also we have other properties like border. If you want to set the border of the image, you can give 2. So you can say have a border for the image with the width of 2. So like this you can use other attributes also for this image tag. Next, coming for one more tag that we are going to see is called as hyperlink. So it is like, we'll call it as hyperlink. So what is the use of hyperlink is whenever you want to link one web page with the other web page, you'll be using this hyperlink property or hyperlink tag. This hyperlink tag, so this hyperlink tag can be used with the help of a tag called as which is called as anchor tag, which will be having a property called as href. Okay, now here you can write simply, say for example, I'll create one more web page. Just go to file, go to new. I'll copy the same web programming content here. I'll paste here, and I'm going to delete all these things. All this content will be deleted, and I'm going to name it as web programming hyperlink. Okay, and I'm going to save this. Go to file, save as, or save. I'll write it as hyper hyperlink dot html. You can see it is stored in documents, so I have stored it as hyperlink dot html. So you can give the location here the same thing, that is hyperlink dot html, and I'll close the anchor tag. So here I'll write something like click. Okay, I'll save it and I'll try to refresh it. You can see we have something like hyperlink, we have click. Once I click this, I'll go to this web page where I have this content called as hyperlink. So whenever you want to link or connect one web page with other web page, we'll be using something like this. And here I can write PR, which is we already studied, which is used for break. Okay, so I'll go to previous web page. So you can see I have hyper, under that I have click, and whenever I click on click, I'll get to the next page where I have web programming hyperlink as a second web page. Okay, you can see the second web page we have hyperlink as a second web page. So this is how you can use hyperlink within, or which is used to link one web page to the other web page. Now within the web page, if I want to scroll, suppose if this is my web page, I want to scroll between the same web page. So in that case, suppose I have 100 lines or 200 lines of data. In that case, I want to move from top to bottom or bottom to top. In that case, I can use a property like id property. So I'll create an anchor tag. I'll use id and I'll name it as top, and I'll close anchor tag. Here I can write top of the page. Okay, now after this, so I need some text. So I'll open some document, any web document I have, programming outcomes. So I'll copy some data. I'll go to the program, and here I'm going to paste that data whatever I've copied. Here I'll write a space href equal to hashtag top. Okay, now here I'll write something like top. I'm going to close anchor tag. Okay, so after executing this, if I come to the web page, so I'll go to sample. Now I'll refresh it. So you can see I have all this content. Okay, if I click on top, it will come back to the top position. Okay, so since it is displaying in the single page, I don't have enough space there. You can also make it say in the same web page. If I have this all this content, I'll try to copy paste this again so that I can go to the next line, next page again. So I'll save it, go to web page, and I'll refresh it. See, I have all this data here. So I'll scroll down. You can see at last I have top. When I click on top, it will come back to the top position. Okay, now this is how you can scroll within the web page. Whenever you want to scroll within the web page, I'll be using something like this, where I'll be representing a space href hashtag top, and this top is what? Top is id of an hyperlink. Okay, so that is also can be done by using this hyperlink tag. Okay, so again, next coming for the next thing, that what we are going to discuss is, it is called as list tags. Okay, so I'll just remove this data, or let it be. I'll keep some data and I'll remove other data. I'll just remove these data. Okay, fine. I have this information here, some information, or if you want, you can remove that also. I'll remove that data. Now I'm going to explain you about one more tag called as list tags. So these are list tags. Okay, so what are the uses of list tags? List tags are used whenever you want to represent bullets. In the sense, whenever you want to use any content in the form of a list, if you want to make it out, then I'll be using list tags. Under that, we'll have first type of tag, which is called as unordered list. So it is called as unordered list. So for unordered list, we're going to use a tag called as OL. Okay, under which we'll have one more tag called as LI. So OL will be the outer tag, and LI will be the sub tag or inner tag. Okay, so it will be something like this. So you can see OL is opening and OL is closing. In between we'll have LI tags. So this LI represents list item, list element or list item. If you have, if I say for example, I'll paste this twice. I'll name it as something like programming languages. So I'll name it as programming languages. So I'll write C, C++, I'll write Java. Okay, I'll save this and I'll go to web page and I'll refresh it. So you can see we have ordered list. So which is, you can see 1, 2, 3, that you have C, C++ and Java. So that is whenever you want to list something in the form of ordered list. So this is, sorry, this is not unordered list, this is ordered list. Okay, so for ordered list we'll be using OL. For unordered list, if you want to represent unordered list, in that case we'll be using UL. Okay, so it is UL. Again we are going to close UL. So we want to save it, we want to refresh it on our web page. So you can see it has changed to symbols, that is C, C++ and Java. Okay, similarly we have one more type of listing elements, which is called as uh, definition list. You have three types of tags there. One is like DL, which represents definition list. So for that I'll be using DL tag, and next you have DT, and under that we have DD. Okay, so we have something like this. Say for example, whenever you want to give definition of something, okay, if you want to define something, in that case I'll be using this tag called as definition tag. Okay, so here I can define something like web page. So when I write web page, below that I can write the definition of it. So it is a page displayed on web browser. Okay, so this is how you can create an definition list. So if you go to browser and if you execute, you can see web page, and you have the definition of the web page as a page displayed that is displayed on the web browser. So this is how you can execute these type of tags. So we have discussed HR tag, marquee tag, how to add an image, how to use hyperlink, and how to use ordered list and unordered list, and how to use definition list. So please go through all these things so that you can use it in your projects. Okay, so we'll continue in the next session. Thank you.